right, so here's how it looks. We drained it. We're all ready to go. Now the beef is looking good. The lamb is smelling good. Got our masher. Let's grab our... Now we've got our Earth Balance, our soy-free Earth Balance. We also have an almond milk cream cheese. Cut this open. Now I'm going to do probably about 3 tablespoons of the butter. And about, gotta open it, about half the package of the almond cream cheese. If I can get it open, my goodness. There we go. About half the package. Ah, cream cheese is so delicious. Now remember, the parsnips are already in there, the garlic's already in there. We're also going to put in a little extra salt. Probably about 2 teaspoons of salt. Going to do some fresh cracked pepper. Alright, looks like the meat is done. About a teaspoon of cracked pepper. Also a little more garlic powder, just to kind of homogenize the flavor. I'm going to do about a teaspoon of coconut oil. That's a mixative. Are you ready? Let's do it. So just smush it. Now you can use an immersion blender if you like, or a hand mixer. You know, whatever kind of you like. Now I prefer to do it kind of the old-fashioned way. Just makes me feel a little closer to my very southern ancestors. Barbie, you're nuts. I know. Now, is it going to be as creamy and viscous as regular mashed potatoes? No. You are dealing with cellular structure that is very different from a mashed potato. Just to warn you, but it is low carb and it is super healthy for you. So maybe give it a go, see if you can deal with it or not. Also remember, if you refrigerate a potato overnight, it eats its own starch. Word to the wise. It's looking decadent. Here we go. Looks almost like real mashed potatoes, doesn't it, folks? I know. Now, you know the test is in the taste. Ooh, creamy, salty, delicious. There we go. I call it a win. Yay! I love the parsnip in it because it does give it a little bit of tang, kind of like some sour cream on a baked potato, but it's not too much. And of course, doing paleo or doing low carb or doing whatever, you really want to avoid dairy. Well, you kind of want to avoid dairy in general. Trust me, as a person who has a really hurt knee, and my mother has had osteoporosis since her 30s, yeah, dairy is not your friend, folks. Love ya. All right, let's jump back to the next recipe. See you in a sec. All right, guys, we're back. Oh my goodness, I know, it's a lot. It is. So I've got the meat drained and rinsed, and I've got a little pot here in the back. I'm gonna turn it on to medium heat. I've got Kathy Gale here in the front. Now, I have washed her out, I have scrubbed her out, and she is totally clean and filled with clean water. So we are ready to do the next step. The next step, of course, is the pasta. Now, I'm going to use a black bean pasta because I want to, of course, keep the carbs low and keep the protein high. So, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I've never used it before. So I don't really know what I'm getting into. It could be really good or really awful. So, we're gonna give it a go. right, so it looks like this. It is black pasta. Let's read the directions. There are no directions. Doesn't tell me how long to cook it. 4 to 6 minutes. Whew, that's fast. All right, so in the back, I'm going to take my huge pan of ground beef. I'm going to put in about 3/4 of a pound. Make sure it's nice and chunked. There we go. Let's cook ground beef. Now, I love this brand because it doesn't have any sugar in it, and so the carbohydrates are really low. It's only 7 grams of carbs, but 2 grams of carbohydrates, so the net carbs is only 5 grams for a serving, which I love, and it's delicious. And since my garden went this year, I've got to use canned sauce. There we go. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Now I'm going to rinse the jar out. I'm going to peel off the label. All right, so I'm going to soak it so the label comes off by itself and sort of rains down over everything I need. And this is going to be what I use for the watermelon, because this is exactly 200 grams, so I can eat one day and one another day. Yay! You got to be smart with your food prep. Always good. I have covered the beef in the sauce. Just going to stir it together and put it here to simmer. That's on high, that's on low. Here, now we're gonna make a quiche in this beautiful quiche bowl. We're gonna spray it really nicely with cooking spray. Now we're doing all of course, the areas. Now this is going to serve as my breakfast for the week. So back to it. So we sprayed the container. We've got our large, free-range organic eggs, of course, and we're just going to start chopping up our veggies. All right, so I'm going to chop some veggies. I'm going to let this cook, come up to heat. And guys, the pasta water's finally up to temperature. So let us get this nice and open. Ha-ha! Right, so I'm going to use the black bean noodles down into the pasta pot. Give it a stir. Now, the sauce in the back is coming nicely along. It's really starting to bubble and simmer, which is gorgeous, of course. Nice. Now, I'm going to get a pot. Now, here are the vegetables that are going to go in the quiche. Now, it's a full onion, half a squash, about half a zucchini, 1 of the little peppers, and about a 2-inch or a thumb of the white part of the leek. So I'm going to get a bowl to mix the eggs together, pour it on top, and we'll be ready to pop this baby in the oven. Okay, here we go. Now we're pulling our eggs. 1, 2, 3. I feel like they count. Ooh. Shell. 4. Oh, oh, oh. Y'all remember that. Let me get the shell out. He never got shell in his eggs, I'm sure. 5. Now, you gotta be careful with the eggs because you're really not sure how many it's gonna take to cover your gorgeous vegetables. Now, I've got a whisk here. So I'm going to just, my eggs, just going to break the yolk of each egg. Give a little bit of a stir. Then I'm going to add my pepper. Woo! About a good tablespoon of pepper because of course it does have to fill the whole dish. Nice teaspoon of salt, or a teaspoon and a half. Garlic powder, probably a good tablespoon of garlic powder. And we're going to beat it. Feel free to sing the song as we beat. Alright, so there we go. And just pour it over the top of your vegetables. Now, don't be alarmed if it's not enough. You can always add more eggs, and I'm gonna have to add more eggs. Totally fine. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, a really good quiche, of course, will come in between 8 and 10 eggs. Now, of course, the majority of our seasonings are already in there, so I'm just using my whisk to move it around in the pan. And I'm going to add the rest of the egg, just kind of where it needs to go. There you go. Ah, beautiful. Of course, I'm going to throw that in the sink to wash. And look, it looks great. Now, of course, from here, if you're not doing paleo, feel free to sprinkle a little bit of cheese on the top. It's really delicious if you do. Or you can use some vegan cheese or throw a little coconut oil in there. Of course, get that coconut in you every day. That's very important. But I'm gonna pop this in the oven at 350 for about 12 minutes. I mean, watch it. Make sure, of course, it's nice and bubbly and starting to come away from the edges. That's how you know it's done. So I will show you the finished product. Hey guys, so I have strained and rinsed the black bean pasta. Now the sauce back here is simmering beautifully. So I'm just going to add it, of course, to the noodles. Let it get its go on. Nice. So turn on high. Is that last minute or two on high is how those noodles absorb that sauce. There we go. So here's how it looks so far. With that heat, it'll really allow those noodles to absorb that tomatoey goodness. Oh, it's so good. All right. Sizzling away. Then bring in the black bean pasta. Oh, it's delicious, it's nutritious, it's low carb, and yay for our lunch this week. All right, so now next up we're going to do a smashed egg and some of the grass-fed beef to go on top of a salad.